Cayo Perico Heist was once the ultimate way of making money in GTA Online. It was so good in fact that Rockstar had to nerf it a few times as players were making too much money from it. They first increased the cooldown, meaning players can't play the heist as frequently. The cooldown once used to be about 10 minutes, but today it's 3 in-game days, 144 minutes. Then Rockstar made it so guards detect dead bodies more efficiently, but the most substantial nerf came in September of 2023. That's because they nerfed the value of primary and secondary targets. The primary targets, Tequila, the Ruby Necklace and Bearer Bonds all had a 30% decrease in value. The Tequila, 900,000 down to 630,000. The Ruby Necklace, 1 million down to 700,000, and Bearer Bonds, 1.1 million down to 770,000. Gold remained the same, but all the other secondary targets saw a 10% decrease in value. Even the safe cache wasn't safe because that saw a 60% decrease in its minimum value. It also used to be just 25,000 to set up, but now it's 100,000. So not only can players not play it as frequently, not only is the heist now harder to complete, but players are now unable to make as much money from the heist. With all of that being said, is the Cayo Perico heist still worth playing? We can answer that by looking at what else made the heist so good to begin with. The most obvious being, not only was this the ultimate way of making money, but it was designed so players could play this heist solo, which was the very first thing like it in GTA Online. It still offers players the freedom to make money without having to rely on other players, such as something like the Diamond Casino heist or business sell missions. The heist remains the go-to way for making money for lots of solo players after its nerf. But isn't it hard to set up and complete it solo? Well, in my opinion, the Cayo Perico heist is the easiest heist to set up in the game, if not even the easiest activity in the entire game. The setup missions aren't that complex and don't require a ton of time to complete. There's one that's a bit of a pain, the initial heist prep mission, but that's only because the Vellum 5-seater is so bad. I can't help but think that the Vellum 5-seater is purposely used just to take up more of your time because everything else is so easy. Some players may struggle once they arrive to Cayo Perico in that mission, however, if you know where you're going, you'd know there's an easy route to take. All of the setup missions take place in a free mode session, making it extremely convenient. You're able to quickly set up heist preps and complete them by any means possible. Because you're in a free mode session, you're able to use things that you wouldn't be able to use in, let's say, a Doomsday heist setup. Lots of people like picking the long fin for Cayo Perico, but I've always used the submarine, and its setup mission is just as easy as the others. The setup missions themselves aren't really interesting, but you can get them done quickly, meaning you're able to move on to the finale quickly. Honestly, I don't think there's anything as easy as this heist to set up. Even more recent additions such as the Clucking Bell Farm Raid and the Oscar Guzman Flies Again missions can't be completed as quickly as Cayo Perico's setup missions. So then, moving on to the finale. Even though they did make it harder, now guards can easily detect dead bodies, the heist is still incredibly easy to complete solo. You can go through the entire main compound without having to kill any of the guards, so you don't have to worry about them spotting dead bodies. It's more or less a straight run to the primary target. The hardest thing in the main compound is probably the hack, and if you know what you're doing, it's easy. From there on out, it gets a little harder because you have to kill enemies, but if you know which ones to shoot, you won't be detected. Then it's a matter of filling your loot bag so you can get the Elite Challenge bonus, which is 50,000, but on hard mode, it's 100,000. Let's forget about hard mode because you've got to set the heist up within 48 minutes of when the cooldown timer expires. I'd say you make roughly 900,000 to 1.5 million depending on what your primary target is. Remember, the pink diamond never got a nerf and neither did the panther, but let's ignore the panther since it's rarely ever in the game. The pink diamond is worth 1.3 million, and since I've been playing them again, I've had it more times than what I expected. It's rare to get, so it was always a nice surprise before the nerfs and even more of one after the nerfs. The heist is still the easiest to set up and it's great for completing solo. With the very minimum you should be getting from this heist being 900,000, it is still a great activity to play. today. It takes less than an in-game day to set up and complete, which is a lot better than something like the Oscar Guzman Flies Again missions, which take longer to set up and complete. The Cayo Perico Heist also has a better payout, as the maximum for the Oscar Guzman Flies Again missions is 810,000. If you're looking to make money, especially if you're a solo player, the Cayo Perico Heist is still the way to go. I think players like myself were no longer motivated to play after its substantial nerf, but have since come around to playing it again. I'd like to see the cooldown reduced, but most players only have time to play one Cayo Perico Heist a day. And also the setup fee, that should be about 50,000, not 100,000. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.